Hi, my name is Dr. David Olowski. Writing biblical fiction that plausibly represents the last days events is my continued goal. In my book, The Rapture, the Tribulation Reign of the Antichrist, I utilize 220 scriptures to foretell of the tribulation. It is vital to see that in the book of Isaiah, God declares that he is prophesying into these last days, and in so doing, provides critical details for what is to come. Difficult times are ahead for many who remain on the earth after the saints have been raptured and brought into heaven's paradise. The last days will see pronounced times of famine and heartache. During the second half of the tribulation, the trumpet bowl judgments will bring great devastation upon the earth. During this time, the Antichrist will force his will upon mankind. In part, this will involve him raising up an army of young men who are, quote, mere lads, and assigning them to be Hitler's youth brigade, so to speak. They will command their will upon the older generation without regard. So in chapter 3, verse 1, it says, the atmosphere will be decimated by the initial meteor strikes along with the great trumpet judgments. Those who sow seed will be dismayed at the lack of water and the minuscule harvest. At the 3.5-year point, the Antichrist will overtake Israel with his forces. God's promises are only bread and water to those who are being sustained by his Spirit in that time. Verse 2-3, a person's status in life will not matter. Doesn't matter what position you hold, you'll still need bread and water, and that's what you will get. Verse 4, most of his army will be like Hitler's youth, where young men will be made leaders over their seniors. Verse 5, it will be greatly dishonoring when elders are made subservient to these young, vile men with guns. None will have a voice to lead, for all will face starvation from all the desolation that's occurred. Verse 6, few will agree to lead, for all will be abased, and every man will seek his own. Verse 7, none will want the responsibility, knowing there will be no resources or ability to help anyway. Verse 8, Israel will have sinned greatly in rejecting Jesus as the King of Kings. Verse 9, their in-your-face rebellion will bring a cry, woe to them. For in rejecting God and his Redeemer, they served their religious statues unto their own shame and hoarded the Antichrist silver and gold as an idol. Verse 10, God will cover those who turn back in faith and will heal them and provide for them. The 2 witnesses and 144,000 Jewish saints will be his emissaries the world over to minister his love. Verse 11, but to the wicked, judgment after judgment will fall upon them, the least of which will be enduring famine and drought. Verse 12, the Antichrist youth, like Hitler's youth, will rule over the people. All of them will be false guides who reject Jesus. Verse 13, 14, during the second half of the tribulation, Israel's gardened landscape will be devoured and its habitation will be plundered. Verse 15, God will confront the Antichrist after he devours Israel, which is God's vineyard. Verse 16, the Lord will set himself against even the physical arrogance of Israel, bringing forth the first bowl of judgment. Verse 17, that will cause a loathsome and malignant sore to appear on the loyalists who took the mark of the Antichrist. Thus their scalps will be afflicted. Isn't it profound that this verse is mirrored in Revelation 16:2? Verses 18-23, the people will be so afflicted that they will stop adorning themselves with jewelry and will stop looking into their mirrors. They will come to clothe themselves just to survive. Verse 24, so many of the people will die during this time that their rotting corpses will putrefy and decay. Controlling factions will rise up and will identify themselves with unique brandings. Verse 25, men will arise up to kill, believing their survival is at stake, but instead they will fall. Verse 26, the people will lament and mourn their dire circumstances, but still many will remain in their unbelief. Even after they see his great workings, they will fall in ignorance and fail to discern that he is able to rescue them if only they turn. Revelation 7:4. This is the end of chapter 3 of Isaiah. It's just packed filled with information that helps to inform the book I've written, The Rapture, the Tribulation Reign of the Antichrist. It's a great read, but more than that, it's a plausible look into how the scripture says things will occur. My name is Dr. David Olowski. Thanks for tuning in.